and welcome back to Dana Builds. I'm Dana, and today we are back in Willow Creek, and we are at the Brook Bungalow House, which is not a bungalow, but we're going to rebuild it, and this will be the last house we will do in this particular neighborhood. It's the neighborhood where the pancakes live, and this is a fairly big lot. I believe it's a 40 by 30. And I'm going to be building a fairly big house. The original house on the lot, I think, is around 95,000 simoleons, and the final house that I built here is around the same price. So it's not more expensive, but I think it looks a lot better. It's fairly limited pack-wise. I end up only using, I believe, Seasons, Discover University, the base game, the new Dream Home Decorator Pack, and then I think for the landscaping, some of the garden stuff snuck in there, and I believe in the kitchen I use curtains or blinds or some sort of thing from the Pets pack. So that's all. It's not every pack I own. So just doing the front here. And these are the Seasons doors, windows, and the Seasons columns there as well. I use a lot of the Seasons stuff in this neighborhood, particularly on the exteriors, just because I wanted each house to be sort of similar, so that it's a similar feel to it. This house ended up with 5 bedrooms, so and the majority of them have double beds. There's 4 with double beds, and there's 1 with a bunk bed. So conceivably, you could fit 8 Sims in this house. There only ended up being 2 bathrooms, though, so that might take some management, but it is up on the gallery. And I'm quite pleased with how it turned out. And I did get to use the new Dream House Decorator Pack, which I bought on the day it was released. I do have a few thoughts on it. As far as a build pack, it's pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of pastels, so that's one thing, because a lot of the swatches, it's all pastel shades. So I am a vivid color gal, so sometimes I don't use a lot of pastels in my build, but I kind of forced myself to in this one just because I wanted to use that pack because I just bought it. I did some of the gameplay. It's buggy. So if you haven't gotten that pack yet and you're not a builder, I'd wait until they fix the bugs in it, because there's some issues, like before and after photo stuff sometimes it doesn't work. That's happened to me. I did a decorating gig that I didn't get paid for, so it does have some problems, but the build stuff's pretty nice. I do like the modular nature of a lot of the things in the pack, and you'll see throughout the house I'll point out what stuff I used, but for now we're just working on the exterior. This is a very suburban-y type house. I really like that sage colored siding with the white trim. You'll notice that I had originally started out with dark doors and windows, but then I changed them to white because I did like that aesthetic a lot better. And they've got a little covered porch here in the back. And I did all my window placement before I went inside, so that's unusual for me. But I wanted to make sure that this house had lots of windows and lots of light, so that's what I did. I do some adjustments of the windows on the inside. I don't change what they are. I just change their placement. And then here I'm doing the landscaping at the front. Because I found when I did the pancake house, it went a lot better for me to do the landscaping before I started to do the interior. Because what I find is if I do the landscaping first, I seem to do quite a bit more than if I save it for the end, because usually what happens is by the end, I just want to be done. I want to be done with the house. I want to move on to something else. And landscaping is not my favorite thing to do. I mean, it's not bad, but I'd rather do the interior. So I find that by doing the landscaping first, then I kind of get what I don't like out of the way, but I'm not as fatigued by the build where I'm like this, like, oh, they get a tree and that's it. So I did a little, some garden beds here, and I filled it in quite a bit with plants and stuff. Now that round shape, it looks like a brick. It's not. It's actually a bag of flour from the debug, but I found it through the Better Build Buy mod. It's quite easy to find. It's called, I think, Ingredients or something, but it looks quite nice as trim for a front garden. And then we do a couple of trees as well. And now I'm into the interior, and it took me a little bit of thinking to figure out what I was going to do with the interior, just because the shape is a little bit strange. But I mean, it's very rectangular on one side and then square on the other. So I knew I wanted to have a separate entryway. And then I thought I wanted the kitchen closed off, but then I decided that I didn't. So that's me just trying to figure out what I'm doing. So that back there, that's the master bedroom, and then it's got its own ensuite bathroom, and I decided to put in a closet. The closet's too big. You'll see later when I decorate the bedroom that I shrink that down a little bit. And then there's 2 more bedrooms on this side of the house. Yeah, that's just me adjusting the windows, because it's hard to tell from the outside, especially with those Seasons windows, how high they are on the inside. So sometimes I have to make adjustments because they're too low to the ground, but it's hard to tell on the outside, which is usually why I place windows when I'm inside. But I decided I wanted to sort of make things look a little bit more symmetrical as far as window placements on the side of the house. So that's why I did it from the outside. And the doors I'm using, these are doors that are from the new pack, the Dream Home Decorator. Normally I use the Seasons doors in most of my builds, just the 50 simoleon ones, but I decided to sort of change things up a little bit and use the new doors. And this is just the front entryway. It's fairly simple. That table is from Seasons, so it's this flower arrangement. And then I put the Seasons mirror in behind it. I really like the stuff in the Seasons pack, and I use a lot of that stuff quite a bit in most of my builds, usually the doors for sure. And I really like the windows and the stairs and railings and things from that pack. So I do use Seasons quite a lot in my builds. And I like the love seat they have. I use that quite a bit as well for outside on patios and things like that, when I don't use the patio stuff pack. And I'm just building a hallway here just to sort of even out the shape of the kitchen living room. And then this part over here, yep, adjusting windows again. This part over here is going to be the kitchen. And I decided to do a very open kitchen, living room, dining room type thing. It's not really a formal dining room. It's just a dining table, but you'll see when we get there. Because I wanted, this house it's a big house. So I wanted to take advantage of that and give it a very open, bright, light feel. So that's why I didn't divide up the kitchen and separate it from the living room. And then here's me using, this is the new pack with the kitchen cabinetry and the island and stuff. And I like that little outer corner piece that has that tea towel hanging. I think that looks nice. And then I'm using the separate stovetop and oven, which I think is really cool for this pack. And I always wanted to place the oven tops in the island parts. Normally what I do is I actually put the stove in the middle of the room and then build the island around it, but it's really nice to be able to do the countertop part and then just put the stovetop on top, which is probably what I will be doing in a lot of my builds, that I want to make a central cooking island. So I'll probably do that a lot of the times. These curtains are from the Pets pack. And then because the Seasons curtains they're too long and I didn't like them for the kitchen. And now here's the living room area. And I was quite heavy on this new pack just because I wanted to play around with the modular elements of it. So this is me building a TV stand, which I kind of like a lot. I like the fact that you can snap different pieces together because I am not one of those fancy creative people that do amazing built-ins and stuff with like cupboards and things like that. That's just not my thing. I really admire people that can do that. And I've watched tutorials on how to do it, and it's just not, I don't know, my brain doesn't work that way. But with this pack, being able to build, built-ins and entertainment units and things like that with different components, I think that's really, really great. And I love the sofa portion or whatever, where you can make your own custom sectionals and love seats and with the chaise lounge and that kind of thing. I really, really like that. Now, if it came in brighter colors, I might be a little bit happier, but hopefully going forward, that this is something they're going to incorporate into other packs as well, because I really think that it's a really good idea. Because, sometimes I really like, there's like a color of a sofa I really like, but, you can't turn it into like a love seat or whatever, because it's one solid piece. So I do like the functionality of having different components that slot together for the furniture. Yep, dining table is from the Dream Home Decorator as well. You'll notice that I did a lot from this pack because the color coordination, a lot of this, well, obviously everything in the pack coordinates with everything else. Unfortunately, sometimes there's not a lot of cross coordination from pack to pack. A lot of times we get different wood tones, and so things don't match as well. But it is what it is. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is the master suite. And then I opened that up to be a closet, but it's too narrow and too deep. So I do shorten it up here shortly when I decide to build it. And this room is quite big, so I was a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Can't find it. But I decided to do a platform just to break up the space a little bit because it is such a big bedroom. And sometimes that's the thing when you're doing the floor plans. It doesn't look like a huge room when you're looking at it top down and in relation to everything else. But then once you start putting furniture in it, it does get really big. So here I am building their little closet, and it's a little too narrow, but things fit in there very well. And I wanted to get the dresser underneath, and then I put a mirror on top. I did have to use the tool mod to lower the height of the mirror a little bit so that the full thing shows, not being cut off by the overhead cabinet thing. But I do like the new clothing clutter. I think that's really cool. And the shoes too. That's really neat because then you can sort of make it look like they actually have clothes that they can change in and out of. And then I thought I'd build a little seating area with the sectional pieces as well, in the same color swatch as what I used for the bed. So it's supposed to be red, I think. It's more of an orangey red, but you know me, red. Gotta have a red room. So that's what I decided to do. I like the coffee tables that came with this pack as well. There's several different ones. There's bigger ones, and then we've got some smaller ones as well. Excuse me. And then I wanted to incorporate some of the new carpets as well. So this room is mostly furnished with the new pack, but the curtains are the Seasons stuff, and so is the painting on the back of the wall. And I think they all tie in together quite well. And that's the new tub. And this bathroom is humongous. I didn't realize when I was doing the floor plan that it was just going to be that big. So I decided to do a separate shower, but as my own kind of custom build thing. So what I did there was I created a platform, and then I put columns, and then these windows are I think they're base game, and they're from the second wall height section. And so I made it my own glassed in shower. And then I just used the shower from the Discover University. I think that I really like that shower head because it's inexpensive, and then you can do a lot of stuff to make your own like walk-in showers or wet rooms and things like that. So that's why I used that. And then we have the toilet there, and then the cabinetry as well. And the counters there, that's just base game. And I believe so is the sink. And then again with the mirror from Seasons. And then that little basket with what looks like towels, that's from the new pack as well. Again, with this build, I didn't go overboard on the clutter because I'm not a clutter fan. So I used some things, but most of it I didn't. This bed is from the new pack as well. And I think it goes well. Those are Seasons curtains. And that grade shade actually coordinates quite well with it. And then I built, that's the Seasons dresser. And I'm going to put the Seasons mirror over top again. The one thing that irritates me about, I don't know if it's just that dresser or if it's all dressers, but you can't put, the plants don't want to slot in the middle, which is where I want to put them. So that's why I have to use Move Objects and adjust it with the Alt key. But I guess it's fine. And then I built a little, that's the bookshelf from this pack, and so is that chair. So they have a little reading area. And then I just put some artwork that's new from the new pack, and then I moved on to over here. Excuse me, this is another bedroom. Those are Seasons curtains. Yep. And then I made a window seat, but it cut in with the curtains. So I had to move it forward just to make, because that annoys me when the curtains overlap it. But I suppose in real life, if you had floor length curtains and you shoved your couch against the wall that they're on, they'd flow over them. So I suppose that would be that's why that's the case. That bed's from Seasons. And so are those wall sconces and the mirror. And then I thought I would build a nightstand out of the nightstands, put them together, because they will snap together. But I didn't like the way that light looked on it, so I decided to change it because they're quite small. And that light is from the new pack as well. And then I built a nice desk area because the desk and the bookshelves will slot together. So you could make yourself a desk with like built-in bookshelves and that kind of thing. And then I did some cabinetry on the top as well. so that they've got a whole unit in their room for all their stuff and their studying or whatever, and their books and things like that. So I really, really like this part of the pack. I do like how a lot of the modular furniture items slot together so you can build your own custom things. And then I did the dresser, and then I put a hanging section for clothing over top. And some cubbies. There's some cubbies there. Or there's one cubby for some shoes and things like that. So that aspect of this pack I really, really like. There were some things I don't like, but I've already gone over those. So mostly it's just the bugginess of the gameplay. But as far as build stuff, it's pretty good. And then I'm just going back over into the first bedroom I did, just to add a little bit more stuff because I didn't the first go round. And some artwork to fill in the blank spaces on the walls. And then we're on the other side of the house, and I did the bathroom. I don't show on camera the build of the, there ends up being another bedroom with a double bed that's on the left-hand side of the bathroom. And then on the right-hand side of the bathroom, there's a child's room with a bunk bed. And then at the immediate front of the house on this side, there's an office. I did not show that on camera because this video was getting quite long anyway. So I did take screenshots. So at the end, you'll be able to see what I did interior-wise for those. So that mirror is new. So's the sink. I like the new tubs. They're quite nice and fancy, I guess you could say. And then, yeah, I did this same color walls in all those rooms, but you won't see me doing the builds for them because this video would have been way too long because this house is quite large. And then in the backyard, I do the fence. It's a nice fenced-in backyard. There's no gate so that people can't come in and kick my garbage can over, which they seem to want to do all the time. And I did remember the garbage. So that's a small miracle as well. And they get a pool. There's a barbecue area, a seating area for, entertaining or whatever they want to do. And then because there's a child's room in this house, I decided to do a small play area. And that will bring us very close to the end of this build. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. If you're new here and you like what you see and like to see more, hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. And until next time, take care, stay safe. Bye for now.